My name is Naomi Brooks, and if you had told me 3 years ago that my entire marriage would collapse inside a courtroom in front of strangers, lawyers, a tired judge, and my 12-year-old daughter, I would have laughed. I thought my life was stable. I thought my husband, Darius, was a good man who simply worked too much. I thought my home was normal, my family safe, my daughter loved. But there are illusions so polished, so carefully presented, that you forget to check the cracks until everything shatters at once. I met Darius when I was 21. I was a waitress trying to finish nursing school, and he was a smooth-talking assistant manager who came in for lunch every Thursday. He wasn't perfect, but he made me feel seen. We got married young, bought a fixer-upper home in Atlanta, and by the time I turned 29, we had our daughter, Ariana. I thought our life was a simple black family story, working class, tired, but fighting for a better future. What I didn't know was that Darius was rewriting the story behind my back. The distance started slowly. Missed dinners, late-night shifts, secretive phone habits. Ariana was the first one to notice. "Mom, why does Dad smile at his phone more than he smiles at you?" I laughed it off. Kids exaggerate, kids misread things. Or maybe it was just easier to pretend she was wrong. But then came the night when everything broke. We were at the kitchen table, and I asked Darius if he wanted to try counseling. Nothing dramatic, nothing emotional, just a simple suggestion. He slammed his glass on the table so hard it cracked. "Naomi, I'm done trying. You always overreact. You're always suspicious. I'm tired." And just like that, my marriage started crumbling. Not with screaming, but with coldness. A coldness so sharp it sliced every part of my heart. A month later, the divorce papers arrived. No warning, no discussion, no explanation. He wanted full custody. And yes, I nearly fainted when I read it. Full custody. My daughter saw me sitting on the couch, the papers trembling in my hands, tears dripping onto the signature line. She sat beside me, quietly. "Mom," she whispered, "I've been recording things. You might need them." I didn't understand what she meant. I didn't know what video she was talking about. I didn't know that my daughter, my quiet, observant, perceptive daughter, had captured something so explosive that it would change the entire courtroom. I didn't know yet, but Ariana had proof, and she was planning to show it.
Children see the truth long before adults do. They catch the tone of a voice, the shift in a smile, the unease in a room. They sense things parents talk themselves out of. While I was busy making excuses for Darius, Aria was watching everything unfold. I remember one evening when I was cooking dinner. Darius came home smelling like cologne, the same cologne he said he couldn't afford anymore. He barely greeted me. Instead, he walked straight to the bedroom, locked the door, and stayed there for an hour. Aria came into the kitchen quietly. Her eyes were sad, older than a 12-year-old should ever look. She whispered, "Mom, Dad is lying to you." I smiled weakly and said, "Baby, grown-up problems are complicated." She didn't argue. She just turned and walked away, quietly breaking in a hallway I didn't know was filled with secrets. What I didn't know was that she had begun saving things, voice notes, small videos, audio clips, not because she wanted to destroy her father, but because she wanted to protect me. One Sunday afternoon, I overheard her talking on FaceTime with her cousin. "Dad isn't who he pretends to be. I don't want Mom to lose me because of his lies." That sentence twisted every nerve in my body. What lies? Lose her how? Why would he? But then life got chaotic. Lawyers, paperwork, stress, bills, court dates, and I pushed her words aside, telling myself I would ask later. Later never came. The day before the hearing, I found her packing her little purple backpack. "What are you doing, baby?" She said, "Getting ready." "For what?" She looked me straight in the eyes. For the truth. It sent chills through me. The conviction, the maturity, the quiet fire I didn't even know she carried. That night, I found her sitting by the living room window, headphones on, staring into space. When she noticed me, she closed the screen quickly. "Mom, whatever happens tomorrow, don't be scared. I promise everything will be okay." I should have asked. I should have sat with her and demanded answers. But I was so emotionally drained that I simply hugged her and said, "I trust you." I had no idea that the next day, my daughter would bring an entire courtroom to silence, that she would walk toward the judge, trembling but determined, that she would pull out her tablet, open a folder, and say, "Your Honor, I have something you need to see." No one was prepared. Not me. Not the attorneys. Not even Darius. But that video, the one my little girl had been saving, was about to destroy every lie he had built. The courtroom was cold. The kind of cold that gets inside your bones. The air smelled like old wood, paper files, and tension thick enough to choke on. Darius sat across from me. Crisp suit, polished shoes, fake smile. His lawyer, a tall, confident man named Mr. Redmond, stood ready with his rehearsed arguments about why Darius deserved full custody. They painted me as emotional, unstable, financially inconsistent, the usual script men like Darius use to win sympathy. I tried to stay calm. I tried to remember that the truth was on my side. But truth often loses when money and manipulation enter the room. Judge Harris was about to finalize temporary custody when Aria suddenly raised her hand. "Your Honor," she said, voice trembling but loud enough to echo, "I need to show something." Everyone turned. Even Darius looked confused and slightly nervous. The judge frowned. "Young lady, this is highly unusual." "Please," she whispered, "it's important." Judge Harris sighed. "Approach the bench." Aria walked forward carefully, her small hands clutching her purple tablet. I felt my heart pounding in my chest so loudly it drowned out everything else. "What is this?" the judge asked gently. "My dad, he's not telling the truth. This video proves it." Darius shot up from his chair. "Aria, sit down. This isn't appropriate." But the judge raised a hand. "Mr. Brooks, sit." For the first time, Darius obeyed someone other than himself. Aria pressed play. The room went silent. On the screen, I saw my daughter's bedroom. Her tiny desk, the string lights, the posters, everything. The camera was angled toward the slightly open doorway. Then I heard it. Darius's voice. Loud. Cold. Cruel. "She's useless, man. Naomi can barely keep the house clean. I can win custody easy. The judge will believe whatever I say. She's too soft to fight back." My stomach twisted. Then a woman's voice, unfamiliar, flirtatious. "Baby, once you get your daughter, we can move in together. No more sneaking around." I felt like the floor disappeared beneath me. Darius laughed, that same arrogant laugh he used when mocking anyone who couldn't defend themselves. The worst part wasn't even the cheating. It was hearing my husband talk about destroying me like it was a simple strategy. The judge paused the video. "Aria," she said softly, "why did you record this?" "Because he didn't know I was in my room, and he didn't know his voice carries. I recorded it because I didn't want to lose my mom." People in the courtroom
wiped tears. Even the court clerk was crying. The judge leaned back, eyes dark with anger. "Mr. Brooks," she said, "you have a lot to explain." But Darius had no explanation, because the truth had been exposed by the very child he tried to use as a pawn.
Darius's mask melted instantly. The confident, smooth-talking man everyone admired became a panicked, stuttering mess. "Your Honor, this is taken out of context." "Out of context?" the judge barked. "Sir, this video shows premeditated custody fraud and infidelity." His lawyer tried to recover, but the damage was irreversible. Meanwhile, Arya was shaking. I knelt beside her, holding her close, whispering, "You're so brave, baby. I'm so proud of you." Darius glared at us from across the room, not with guilt, not with regret, but with pure, exposed anger. For the first time, he couldn't control the narrative. For the first time, he couldn't twist the truth. The judge ordered a recess. During the break, Darius cornered me in the hallway. "You turned her against me," he hissed. I stepped back. "No, Darius, you turned yourself against your own family." He stepped forward again, jaw clenched, fist tight. But then something unexpected happened. Arya stood between us. All 5 feet of her. Her small shoulders squared, her chin lifted, her eyes fearless. "Don't talk to my mom like that," she said. I will never forget the look in Darius's eyes. Anger melting into humiliation, humiliation crashing into fear. That was the moment he realized he had lost us both permanently. When court resumed, the judge delivered the verdict. Naomi Brooks awarded full custody. Darius restricted to supervised visitation. Financial penalties for attempted fraud, mandatory counseling. And then, the judge turned to Arya. "Young lady, you may have just saved your mother's future and your own." The entire courtroom applauded, something I had never seen in a divorce hearing. Arya cried, I cried, even strangers cried. But the biggest moment was yet to come, because the judge offered something she rarely offered. "Mrs. Brooks, if you wish, you may file for punitive damages. His actions were malicious." For the first time in years, I felt powerful, not because I wanted revenge, but because justice had finally listened. After the hearing, the world felt different. Not lighter, not yet, but clearer. I packed our things, moved out of the old house, and found a small apartment in Midtown Atlanta. It wasn't fancy, but it was peaceful. No slammed doors, no suspicious phone calls, no late-night lies. Just me and my daughter, rebuilding. A month later, Arya and I sat on our little balcony, eating ice cream. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and purple. "Mom," she asked, "are you mad I recorded him?" I shook my head. "No, baby. You told the truth when grown-ups were too scared to too." She nodded slowly. "I didn't want him to take me away from you." My heart cracked and healed all at once. "I would have fought the whole world for you," I whispered. "But you saved us." She leaned her head on my shoulder. "Can we just be happy now?" "Yes," I said. "We finally can." I started nursing school again. Arya joined a new dance team. We built new routines, new laughter, new traditions. Sometimes healing doesn't come in one big moment. It comes quietly, slowly. Every day you choose peace over pain. As for Darius, word spread. People who once praised him started seeing the truth. His reputation cracked, not because I destroyed him, but because his own actions finally caught up with him. And I realized something powerful.
Justice doesn't always come fast, but it always comes eventually, especially when the truth is brave enough to speak. My daughter was that truth. My daughter was that bravery. And the day she played that video was the day we both walked out of that courtroom, not broken, but reborn.